if you want to understand how the monetary system works, not only in America, but all around the world, you have to absolutely get The Creature from Jekyll Island. Now, I'm not going to have an affiliate link in here or anything like that, and I just want you to get it. You have to get it. You have to read it. Maybe get it on Audible. It might even be on YouTube where you can listen to it. So go check this out. Please, please go check this out. This will show you exactly where the central banking system came from, the origins of it, why it's here, what its purpose is, and why its purpose has nothing to do with helping you in life, but actually stealing from you and your time and energy, your theft of your time and energy. That's literally what it was here for. I know that might sound crazy. I know this might be the first time you're hearing something like that, but please, 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 please go read this book. It's a fascinating book, and you can, like I said, you can listen to it. You're going to dive into probably many other things once you get through it. Some other unbelievable books you have to read is The Fourth Turning and The Sovereign Individual Here. And the Fed is another unbelievable one by Ron Paul. Economics in One Lesson, Henry Hazlitt, unbelievable book as well. Quick book, short book. Capitalist Manifesto by Robert Kiyosaki. If you want an understanding of what's going on in the world as well, and where we've come from over the last 150 years, the Capitalist Manifesto is an unbelievable expose, hundreds of quotes of through history of why we're here, how the Federal Reserve came about as well, and the political leaders that are leading us and why they're leading us the way they are, and who their inspirations were. It gives you an insight that you've never had before. You're not going to get this in school. It's going to help you make more money as well. It's going to help you position yourself, your family, getting prepared. Like we talk about this all the time, being prepared and independent and resilient is going to be the most important attributes going forward, building a community of like-minded people around you. If you want to get into a little bit more, I don't know, drama maybe is the right word, but Confessions of an Economic Hitman, John Perkins, his original book, and then his new one as well, about, again, central banking and how some of the other non-governmental organizations, NGOs, things like that, International Monetary Fund, Bank of International Settlements, all these banks are in this together to steal your time and energy from you through inflationary monetary systems. As John Maynard Keynes would point out, not one man in a million can detect inflation. And it's literally all it is the theft. It's typing digits into a computer now. It was printing currency before, quantitative easing, whatever you want to call it. It's the destruction of the citizens, the 99%, their wealth, their time and energy, because all money is a container. Money is a container for your time and energy. You go to work every day and pour out your time and energy, and you put it in a container. You make a trade for something you hope has equal value. Now, over the last 110 years or so, since at least the Federal Reserve here in the United States, and really the proliferation of all the central banks in the world now, across the world the last 100 years, again, another side note, it's no coincidence that this century of central banking also coincided with the century of total war, of world war. So think about that. And this will show you exactly why. These books will give you exactly what is going on and why that was the case. But back to the container of money. The inflationary fiat currencies we have right now, meaning fiat is by decree, meaning there is nothing backing that money. Money has to be something of value, a store of value. Currency, a piece of paper, digits and computer aren't anything. You can't print wealth into existence. You can't print time and energy into existence. That's not how it works. So once I started learning this over the last 10 or 15 years, it just blew my mind of my understanding after I came out of school and realizing, oh my goodness, there's the uniparty, the red versus blue, all this polarization. This is all a distraction to keep us from the real fight. That is the state versus you. That is it. It's collectivism. It's the 1% versus individualism, which is the 99%. That's all this is. The state at the top, the unproductive class wants you fighting red versus blue, black versus white, man versus woman, old versus young, and thinking that it's some type of war there in the Colosseum. You're the soldiers and the emperor's up on high giving you yes or no. No, the real fight is the state versus you, and they're out in the treasury behind the Colosseum, melting the currency down like they did in the Roman Empire, removing the real metals, putting in base metals, coin clipping, and just stealing people's time and energy. It's all it is. So back to that box. You need a finite box. Something doesn't leak out the side. Inflation is a hole punched in the side of your container, your money container, and it's leaking out the side every single second of every day while you sleep. And that's why you are wondering, how do I get ahead in life? How come things keep running away from me? How come prices keep running away from me, spiraling out of control, and I can't keep up with it? That is why, because we are all trained to hold something we're told is an asset, but it's really a liability. If it's losing wealth every single month, then it's a liability. So it's a liability on our balance sheet, yet most of us think it's an asset on our balance sheet. Now, you can see how that's going to cause a lot of problems in your life. If you think you're holding an asset, but it's really losing you value, and then you expect to retire on those dollars, or you expect to have that to go pay your grocery bill, your rent, and it's not there because it's gone. It leaked away through inflation, meaning prices are 5 times higher, 10 times higher, kind of like everyone's gone through over the last few years and seen this now firsthand, at least to a small degree. There's many countries that have gone through, outside of the United States, many developing countries have gone through massive inflations, and that will continue to speed up all around the world, and it will eventually come to America. Probably last, because it's the Triffin dilemma. It's a world reserve currency, so it's going to probably come there last. But people all over the world, and Westerners, will learn this very, very soon, over the next decade or two, and possibly sooner. If we do not learn lessons from the past and get back to a deflationary, sound money, a finite box, something you'll put your time and energy in, pour that in, and it's finite, there's no holes, it's perfectly sound, and it actually accrues value over time. As more and more people put their monetary premium in that network, in that asset, that accrues value, meaning you can go purchase more goods and services with that same unit, that same 1 ounce or 1 Bitcoin or $1 of value, whatever it is. If it's deflationary, if there's less and less of it over time, if it's finite, then it accrues more purchasing power and becomes rarer, and it accrues more purchasing power by buying you more things, right? As Mike Maloney always says, people know the price of everything and the value of nothing. So we want to know what the value is. We want that to accrue value, so it buys us more goods and services, buys us more freedom over time, where an inflationary world is what enriches the central banks and enriches the unproductive class. It's what enables the government and the politicians to send our currency, our time and wealth, our energy overseas to wars, to proxy wars, to pet projects, to NGOs, to you name it, to bridges to nowhere. This is why an inflationary world is set up, to steal the time and energy without one man in a million understanding or knowing what's happened, as John Maynard Keynes pointed out. And they can take that from you without anyone batting an eye, without having to ask anyone, without having to vote on it, nothing. They can just take it, print digits into a computer, type digits in a computer, say, yeah, you know what, we'll pay it off. Oh, you know what, you can't pay that off now? Life is too expensive for you? You need some student loan debt? We'll just pay that off for you. We'll just give you this, because they can just print it into existence and then steal more time and energy from other people, money. They can steal more of it and then give it to that select group of people. We can give those reparations to that people. We can give this to that people. We can give this bailout to that company because they're too big to fail. That's how this exists. And then we all have a lower standard of living because now we're receiving worse products and services. Like if a company is going bankrupt, why are we keeping them? Why are we bailing them out? Now we're all getting worse product. There's clearly a reason, because they're providing either a bad product or a bad service or both. And now they shouldn't be in business, yet they're kept in business. So now we all receive less value, receiving a worse good or service. And now the cost is going up because now there's more and more of these dollars, or these fiat currency units that we have to find to buy the same car, or more dollars we have to find to buy the same house. This is why Grandpa's house was $5,000 70 years ago, and now it's $500,000. It's the same house, didn't change. Still 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Why does it cost 100 times as much, 1,000 times as much? That's because they keep printing more and more of these currency units into existence, so you need to find more of these things. It's like the Babe Ruth. I always give the Babe Ruth card existence. You have one Babe Ruth rookie card, and it's worth, you name the price, and then all of a sudden Upper Deck comes to you and says, hey, we're printing 1 trillion more of those. What happens to the value of your card? Well, substitute fiat currencies, peso, yen, dollar, substitute any single fiat currency, a government currency, with that Babe Ruth card, and you see exactly what's happening. Now you got to find more of those Babe Ruth cards. They become worthless. You need to find more and more of those Babe Ruth cards, more and more of those fiat currency units to buy the same thing, to buy the same carton of eggs. So this is the start of this. This is what got me down the path 12, 14 years ago. The Creature from Jekyll Island, and then diving into all these other books. Some of these are newer, some of these older. These books are unbelievable, and they will change your life forever, and you'll start to understand what exactly is going on and why the system is set up against you. This 2008 was what I realized, both sides. The Bush administration started the bailouts, the Obama administration finished them. This is the uniparty. They're on the same team. We're the other team. The 99% are the other team. We are the individuals. That's the collectivist group up top saying, hey, you need to all do what we say. We're going to fly to Davos, tell you what you should or shouldn't put in your body, what you should or shouldn't eat, how you should or should emit carbon, but we're going to do whatever we want. We're going to do whatever we want. You're going to own nothing and be happy. You just be good little sheep. Homie, don't play that game. That dog don't hunt. Dog don't hunt here in America. That dog don't hunt here. The community we have, me, my family, that dog don't hunt. So I appreciate your time and energy. It's the most important asset we have. Our time is finite. We have to only trade that for another finite asset. I only know two things that are finite in the world: time, and then I hope you can figure out the other thing. If you can't, please watch some of my other videos. I'm not going to say it here. I want you to watch some of the other videos. Please let me know your thoughts. Why would you trade your finite time for an infinite blade of grass or an infinite grade of sand? So why would I trade my finite time for an infinite piece of paper or an infinite dollar or an infinite digit in a computer? That makes no sense. That's a terrible trade as an investor, as a human being. So we can only trade our finite time for another finite asset. There's only one other monetary asset I know that's finite. Only two things in the world that I know are finite. So they're synonymous with each other. They can be traded for each other. So please let me know your thoughts below. Please check out these books. They will absolutely change your life. They'll change your economic life. They'll change your family. They'll change your generationally, your family tree, everything. I promise you. They did for me, and I know they will for you. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Please let me know what else you would like to see, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.